My name is Karina Rolfe, and I would like to give you a brief presentation of training products that I created for Millard Public Schools. Millard Public Schools is the third largest school district in the state of Nebraska. Its secondary math department is comprised of 6 middle schools and 4 high schools. The training that I created for the district resides at the department level and consists of virtual training, professional development events, and new teacher orientation. Some of what I created will flow down into the professional learning community level. The 3 products that I developed for the district is a website that houses all of the secondary math department training events and materials. Prior to this, everything was housed in the training facilitator's personal Google Drive folder, which was inefficient, ineffective, and inaccessible. I also created Administering District Course Assessments, which is a 4-hour asynchronous virtual training. Finally, I created Fall Workshop, which is a face-to-face professional development event. I utilized Understanding by Design, a backwards design model, to create my training program. I started with a rapid prototype instructional design method so that I could have a working model to show my stakeholders very early in the development cycle. This is because this was a quick turn project and there were a lot of products to create. Once I was equipped with adequate feedback and a path forward, I shifted over to a design model that represented more of a SAM approach that was laced with a little agile. This is because I needed an iterative design process, but I needed to work quickly, and that required a merging of these 2 different design models. I kicked off with an analysis. My audience analysis told me that I needed to focus heavily on the theory of andragogy. My needs analysis helped me understand that I needed to frame the instruction with a bottom-up design perspective. That's because the audience does not tend to engage and buy in to training initiatives that are top-down. So I needed to look at how I could frame these initiatives from the bottom-up perspective. When designing the learning tasks, I needed to ensure that I had a low floor and high ceiling with multiple entry points, and I needed to design student-controlled pathways. Knoll's andragogy theory is what I utilized to make sure that I stayed in a frame of mind that helped me during the design process to target everything towards my audience in a way that would be best received, therefore maximizing the learning potential. I utilized Bruner's cognitive constructivist theory as well as Kolb's experiential learning theory to frame the learning activities so that they were well received, immersive, and reflective of the workplace environment so that the new KSAs that were learned during training were immediately applicable. I utilized Miller's information processing theory to help me with the actual physical design process when it came to visual design and emotional design and how I was going to structure the content to best align with cognitive function. Finally, when it came to designing the actual resources or vetting pre-existing resources, I relied heavily on Mayer's cognitive theory for multimedia learning, as well as his multimedia principles. The training repository that I designed houses all of the training that every teacher in the secondary math department requires for any given year. It will house the Administering District Course Assessments virtual training model that I created. And it will also house the fall workshop that I created. However, it will also house the training events that I will not be designing, but I will be creating templates for the training facilitator to use as new training is developed. Seeing as this was a backwards course design, I started with the learning objectives and then developed assessments that would satisfy and assess the learning that was achieved during training. Utilizing Bruner's cognitive constructivist theory, I designed the assessments to be authentic, performance-based, and directly transfer skills to the workplace. I sequenced them into the gradual release model with increasing complexity, wherein the formative assessments functioned as that we do together portion of gradual release, and the summative assessments were autonomous and functioned as the you do portion of the gradual release model. When designing the formative assessments, I ensured whenever possible that feedback was immediate instead of making students wait for untimely feedback. I created the assessments in platforms that held data-rich reporting features. I will be providing you with links to the training repository so you can more closely tour the actual training modules themselves. I will just give you a quick overview into the training modules themselves. This is the landing page for the repository. It's a one-stop shop that provides you access and information regarding all of the training required within the school year. It functions as a repository for both the trainees as well as the trainers. I created the district course assessment training module that resides here, and I will let you tour this on your own. A few notes: I was consistent with the structure of the training. It is easy to navigate and easy to understand. You know the time and the objective for each module, and each module is designed to lead with learning activities followed by performance activities. All of the performance activities for administering district course assessments reside within the actual testing platform that district course assessments are administered on to students. Therefore, the teachers that take this course will first be students within the platform before they have to administer testing on this platform. There are a variety of multimedia types included. Some of the resources I had to create, such as these 2 videos. A lot of them are open source resources that are embedded into the website. I will let you tour this more thoroughly on your own. I would now like to take you over to the fall workshop that I created. You'll notice that this is not fully developed. I created placeholders wherever the material had yet to be delegated by the administration. For example, this first module, Collaborative Practices, the district has not yet finalized what it wants included in this, so I created placeholders to make it easy to finish as guidance came down. Planning Action Research is a module that I was capable of researching and developing, and it follows the same structure as the virtual learning, whereas there is a time and an objective to lead the module, followed by a cycle of learning, which includes a lot of multimedia resources in bite-sized segments, and then an engagement session where people will get together and start applying the skills they just learned. I will let you tour this further on your own. I do hope you'll take some time to look through the training modules that I've developed. I appreciate the time you've taken to watch this video. Again, this is Karina Rolfe. Thank you.